All right, you guys, we're back. Hello to the 90 Degree Show. Well, hello from the 90 Degree Show, rather. I'm your host, Joe Beard. Thanks again. We're about to kick off the show. We got Ernest again from BlockUsUp.com and, of course, the wonderful Bridget Bell. So we're about to kick off this show. We talk about the great SWAC matchup with the S and Texas Southern. All right, y'all. So here we go.
Welcome to the 90 Degree Show, the sports center for college marching bands where we recap the ultimate battles from this weekend. And now, here's our host, the Phantom Podcaster himself, Joe Beard.
Y'all, welcome to the 90 Degree Show. I'm your host, Joe Beard. Happy to be of service for you. I'm glad to have you guys watching with us, whether you are on iTunes, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, our website, our blog, or wherever you are on the interwebs. At the end of the broadcast, if you decide you like the show, then we appreciate a donation to the network. If you feel so in your heart, of course, just simply go to themarchingpodcast.com and click on the donate button to help improve the show and help build our scholarship fund. Tonight's show is brought to you by Block Band Music and Publishing, SAY Marketing and Promotions, BlockUsUp.com, and Kevin Peete of Remax Realty. So we hope you enjoy the show. And I almost forgot. I can't forget one of my favorites, Smokee O's Barbecue. Thomas Oden and Smokee O's Barbecue. If you out in that Dallas area and you looking for some barbecue, go ahead and hit up Thomas, and you got his number scrolling down there at the bottom, as with the other sponsors. So when you sponsor our network, you'll see your information down there below. Before we get started, I wanted to give a little bit of announcement. I should have done this last week, but I usually say in a lot of the spills I say, okay, you can hit the blog up, follow our blog, blog4.themarchingpodcast.com. Well, guess what, y'all? Yeah. So you don't need to do that anymore. All right. So what you can do now is just go to themarchingpodcast.blog. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause. That's dope, right? themarchingpodcast.blog. So you guys make sure you follow the blog. We update all the audio versions of the episode to the blog, and then it also comes out with the episode description. So if you guys have noticed, the last couple weeks we have edited the description in YouTube. So when you guys are watching this, you can click down there at the bottom. If you're watching it live, I don't have all the information there, but after the show has been broadcast, I go back through and edit and put the time signature through the different parts of our conversation. So just in case you don't want to listen to everything, or if you want to hear something specific, like Bridget going off on somebody, I'll have the little time joint in the bottom. So you'd be like, oh, girl, you can hear that. You go right to it. So it's dope. So yeah, give yourselves a round of applause again. Get the upgrades going on. All right, and like I say, while y'all in the clapping mood, let's go over here and say hello to our wonderful panel with us tonight. We have ladies first, the one and only, the alumni of the magnificent marching machine. Go on to the Macy's Day. Watch out for them now. Morgan State University, watch out for them Bears. Bridget Bell, how you doing tonight in this podcast?
I'm doing great. How are you all this evening?
I'm doing pretty good.
Great.
We're doing good. Glad to have you. And again, someone else from a 1911 fraternity. And,
hey.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my roommate from school, Avery McFadden. He was a noob. You know, well, he still is. Like, that ain't how it go. But, yeah, he still is.
That's right. That's right. Once a noob, always a noob.
That's right. So, and I think his dad went to South Carolina State. I believe Avery's father went there. But, yeah, nonetheless, shout out to you, man. Ernest Stackhouse, owner and founder of BlockUsUp.com. How you doing tonight, sir?
Great, man. Excited to be here.
That's outstanding. We appreciate you both. Out there Central Time and even East Coast Time. It's a little bit later than what we used to, but so we really appreciate it. So tonight there was a couple of really good matchups going on this weekend, but tonight we're going to talk about Southern and Texas Southern. A really good matchup, and I believe they call it the State Fair Classic, I believe. That's what they were calling it. And we're really excited to talk about that. They had a battle of the bands the Friday before. And while I get this, let me again, while we're in the clapping mood, let me go ahead and clap it up now. Start with shout outs. So shout out to the Rogers brothers and shout out to Show Style Talk Radio. That's with Adrian and I know Marcus and Travis. And they are doing their thing. To listen to them, go download the All Real Radio app, and then they come on at, I'm about to say 1 o'clock. That's 1 o'clock for me. They come on at 3 o'clock Central Time, and it's from 3 to 5, so check them out. And then check out the Rogers Brothers Sunday nights. I know that, I can't remember the specific time, but I know that they Sunday nights, so just subscribe to them. But what happened was I believe that some representatives approached both of them and tried to help push the event the Friday night. So they were like, hey, so many people watch your show and all that. We want you to do this or sell tickets or whatever on the show, and it helped them out. And they said that they did a good job, and a lot of people showed up. So that's real cool that the businesses, and we've talked about this for years, but being approachable with businesses and then, funneling the craft through our different media resources. So shout out to them. It sounds like they did a good job. And they said, I talked to Adrian. He said that the place was packed because I saw a whole bunch of stuff on Facebook, like them talking about it. And it turned out to be real good. I actually like, and we're gonna be talking about that tonight. What went on Friday night, and how people was acting, and what people was saying about it. So we'll get into all of that. But yeah, again, shout out to the Rogers Brothers and shout out to Show Style Talk Radio. Really enjoy what they do. I know I was doing this thing for a while by myself for a while. But someone told me that this is like the old head show. So I was like, somebody said that, the old heads watch this show, and then like the younger folks listen to them. I was actually on the show with Show Style Talk, and I was telling them like my story, and I was like, back in '97, this and all this stuff, and they was like, '97. They was like, you know what I'm saying? So. It made me feel old. And then even when I talk to Adrian, I can hear it in his voice. He's like, yes, sir. Like, yes. And I'm like,
That's their birth year, man.
Right.
1997.
Right. That's real. So shout out to him, man. I appreciate what y'all do. We got to kick it so y'all loosen up around me a little bit. We got to do something. Get into some ignorance or something.
Yeah. But it's good to see people from the culture actually getting something back from the culture, you know what I mean?
Right.
And not just people that like to kind of take advantage of what we do. So I'm glad to see it's us that's actually benefiting.
Right.
That's great.
I agree. So let's go ahead and get the first commercial break out the way. I'm still fumbling around with stuff over here. But again, shout out to them. It's really cool that they got that done. I was telling them, too. I was telling Adrian, too. And I told the Rogers brothers, man. And I told Garrett Edgerson, shout out to him, because, we looked at some of his footage tonight. I really want to pull something off where we have some type of conference out here in L.A. Like, I would be real ecstatic as, we could all come out here for something, have some seminars, do all the stuff, have shirts, have swag, all that stuff. Maybe even do it like in Texas. It might be easier to do it in Texas probably, but I sure would like to do something out here. And then do something in Vegas. Yeah,
man, that would be dope. Like a conference.
Get
everybody together.
That's one of my new little sounds, y'all, to the party. Yeah, that would be dope. I'm telling you, Vegas, boy, it would be dope, man. So y'all be on the rise for that. We combining and we're growing, and we got a lot of media now. Eddie, meet me on the 50. He's doing his thing, so we're growing. So I think it's soon. We're gonna have some type of conference. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a convention.
Yeah, like the conclave.
Get everybody together.
Right,
yeah, like a clave.
Right. That would be dope, y'all. All right, so let's go ahead and pay the bills, as they say. We appreciate all the people checking us out so far. So I'll mute your mic. I'll mute my microphone. You guys mute yours. We'll go to part one, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the Battle of the Bands that was Friday night between the ocean, that motion in the ocean, and the good human jukebox. All right, y'all. We'll be back.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Band directors, have you ever found yourselves in this situation? Showtime is quickly approaching. Your budget is quickly disappearing. Your music choices are narrowing. The equipment condition is wearing and your stress level is mounting. Stop what you're doing and contact Block Band Music and find out how we've got you. Check www.blockbandmusic.com, providing music, equipment, gear, and accessories to show style, core style, and traditional bands worldwide.
This is Curtis from 80minutesofregulation.com. From referees' whistle to drum majors' whistle and back, your source for sports and marching and athletic music. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, y'all. We back. And unmute your microphones. And we're ready to talk about the good State Fair Battle of the Bands that went on the Friday night before. So I'm not sure about the venue, but it was in Dallas, and out there by Thomas. So y'all should have got y'all some Smokee O's, you know what I'm saying, after the event. And really excited to see that it was a success. All right, so this time for me, it felt better. Remember, we kind of saw Norfolk and Virginia State, and I don't know, it felt kind of tight up in there. This was pretty straight. Like, I felt like everything was okay with this, and it was two good, powerful bands. So I was excited to hear, what was coming out. So Bridget, I'll go ahead and start with you. What did you think about the fifth quarter? I'm sorry, but the Battle of the Bands on Friday night between the S and Texas Southern?
So, Joe, let me ask you a question first. You said that you felt like it wasn't tight in there. Explain that one. I just want to understand kind of where you...
I don't know. Like, I didn't feel like maybe because they weren't sitting on the floor. Maybe that's what it was. And maybe they were sitting up in the stands. I know they were, close together. But it felt like it was some battle that maybe it wasn't at Virginia State. But it was some battle we saw this year, and I just felt like it was too crowded up there in that gym or something. But I just didn't have that same feeling. Maybe I'm guessing because they was in the bleachers, I guess.
So you're talking about the crowd or
the bands? Like, I didn't feel like the bands were as crowded. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were talking.
I could be wrong.
I thought you were talking about the vibe. Okay.
So Bridget, what did you think about the Battle of the Bands on Friday night?
So, it was an interesting. I'm going to kind of approach this from a different angle. MEAC and SWAC battles of the band styles are so different, and it's always interesting kind of watching it because we're like, to me, so I'm going to tell you one of the classic difference. When you see a MEAC battle band, you're going to see some sectional battling. You're going to see some fanfare, some ballads, some marches. Well, I haven't seen a lot of marches this year, but you're going to see kind of a variety of things that kind of showcase your band. What I'm seeing with the SWAC bands is like a blowing contest, and it's a bit frustrating for me. It is really frustrating for me when it becomes a blowdown battle. So when I turned on the battle Friday night, Texas Southern was in the stands, and everyone was like, well, where's Southern? Where's Southern? So Southern was an hour late. So from the jump, and let me tell you, I think everything that they did, Southern did, was very strategic. An hour late, you don't just show up somewhere an hour late. You know, you might have had something happen, but I think everything they did was very strategic so that they can control the battle. So they came in, and if you watch the footage of them marching, and they taking their time, they chilling, shaking hands, hugging, kissing babies. You know, they like chilling hard. They chilling hard coming in. So they come in like an hour late. Meanwhile, as a space filler, Texas Southern's playing. And by the end of the night, I saw that kind of wearing on them a little bit because, you know, I think that kind of drained them waiting that hour. You know, they were kind of feeling the hype, whatever. You know, when you see a band in front of you, you get hype, but that kind of drained them. So I think Southern controlled the battle well from the beginning. I think everything they did was very strategic. So they came in and they did something I've never seen again, the coin toss or whatever. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is with the directors. So the directors, you know, they dap up and, hey, you know, let's have a great battle here. And that's kind of always interesting to me too, but whatever. So they do the 1 hour bro man hug. And Southern starts the battle, but notice Southern's already ready for the battle. Like time they says heads or whatever, Southern starts playing. And they're hyped. When I say they got the energy, from the jump, Southern energy, drive, like they came in with like a killer attitude. And it's a different attitude than we saw when they battled A&M. I didn't feel that from them when they battled A&M. They was ready for Texas Southern. And let me tell you, I wanted Southern to take an L. I'm not a Southern fan, so I wanted them to take an L. But honestly, I can't say that really happened in this battle at all. I think Southern had good hype all the way through. They brought the heat. But, you know, I got to figure out how to say this and not make this a family show when I say it. But they have one speed and one drive. Everything Southern do has one speed and one drive. And let me tell you, that wears you out. You be like, okay, like what else do you have? That's like having a lover that's like that. Like if you have a lover that's like that, you like, go ahead somewhere. Like if you have a bunch, that's too much. You know, really, if you think about it, you know, and that always think they're the man. Man, I like did I and you're like, nah, you really didn't, but you don't want to hurt their feelings. Well, that's Southern. That's Southern. I think you're like, yeah, you brought the power, but what else did you bring? You know, and I think I said that as clean as I could, and y'all kind of get my drift of how I feel about Southern. So let's talk about this, the director's hype, the Brian Simmons cam or whatever. So they had cameras all over him, and he didn't do it, and he was showing out for the cameras.
Yeah.
If he don't get somewhere and sit the hell, like really, can I tell you? I'm a band director. I'm a professional. Number one, I need you to not look like the kids. I need you to not act like the kids. Your temperament directs the band. Yes, you can be excited and be whatever, but why are you jumping up and down because your band is playing loud right now? Like, have some composure about yourself. When I say that bugs me, like that really, and so the drum major's doing the same thing. I don't know why he's even there because the directors are directing. He's meanwhile jumping up and down with a flag, and he's probably one of my least favorites. So there's some Southern drum majors that I really like. My era was Silky Smooth. Man, Silky Smooth was the drum major.
I remember him. I do remember him. Yeah.
And remember
Silky Smooth. Yeah.
Hey,
show him some love.
Yeah.
You couldn't help but love Southern under Silky Smooth. This dude right here, okay, I'm not gonna call him a cornball. I'm just gonna say I'm not feeling it. I wasn't feeling him, but the jumping up and down, running back and forth, you know, it was too much. It's really too much, and I get it. You know, no, I don't get it. I can't say that I get it. You know, he's trying to do that hype thing or whatever, but it really, to me, it takes away. And I just think band directors need some level of decorum. I'm seeing that more and more from band directors. Like when your band is playing and it sounds good, let the audience be the judge of that. We don't need you jumping up, fist pumping like, can you hear that? You hear that? That's unnecessary. And sometimes it caused undue tension. So that's that part. We probably should have had a back and forth conversation because that battle was like crazy. So then they have intermission thing kind of happened. And Texas Southern, from what I saw, Texas Southern played, and then they played another song back to back. Southern didn't like it, and they just started playing over top of each other. And that's when I kind of checked out. I was like, okay, this is ridiculous at this point because you can't hear either band. It was just, we're just trying to outblow each other. There's no way anyone can say at this point it's not about a blowing contest. Who can outblow the other? So it really kind of became, you know, this trying to outblow each other match. I literally was like, okay, I was on somebody's feed and I was like, this is ridiculous. And I logged off because it was, you know, it was kind of too much for me. It's hard to call a winner for this battle. Let me tell you, both bands are having problems in their woodwinds. Like the tuning in the woodwinds it's not good. If I have to call a winner, I would call Southern. I would give Southern the edge just because I said this before, you can't out Southern.
Nope.
Southern has the style, and let them have their style and you have yours. And I need people to learn how to battle them and stay within your style and not try to do that thing that they have going on. I'm gonna pause there because I want you guys to be able to get something in.
Well, one thing that I thought about, and I am not gonna lie, I was thinking about you, Bridget. I was like, I wonder if Bridget is gonna like seeing Brother Simmons running around like that. So
you a grown man, sir. Sir, you are a grown man running around on camera.
I guess that's the dilemma, like, cause he's young too. Like,
but you're a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's relative. The whole grown man thing, it's relative. Cause like, dudes might be like acting cool, but still might do something stupid like a 14-year-old would do. You know what I'm saying?
And that's a problem.
Right.
So I understand, and I saw a lot of people on YouTube, like in the comments, like how he composed himself. You know what I'm saying? So I get, but man, I ain't gonna lie. When I'm like by myself, I do stuff like that. Like in my room when I'm like listening to like band tapes and stuff like that, I be running around thinking I'm directing.
But Joe, you're by yourself. You're not a representative of the university at this point. He is a representative of the university. Like, honestly.
No, I mean, Bridge, that's the only thing. Like, I can't argue with you because you right. Like, all the stuff you say, like, you right. I still struggle with, because, like, man, it was still cool. Like, it's going to be a lot of young folks that was like, man, did you see Southern Director, man? Like, it was so funny, you know. And they may go there because of that, you know. But... Mm-hmm. But man, it's a tough one. It's kind of like the hazing, like when we talked about like how we know it's going on, but it probably shouldn't be, and we know it's wrong, you know. Ernest, man, what you think, man? Because I mean, Bridget, right? You know what I'm saying? But I kind of, part of me liked it because I know I'd be doing it too.
You like the one arm push up too? Somebody in the chat room talking about that. Did you like the one arm push up too? Why is that necessary?
Okay, so I thought he was about to do it. If he actually did it, that I don't know, Bridget. That gotta be tight.
That's kind of corny, man. I don't know. That's kind of corny to me. Man, I don't want to sound like the MEAC guy, you know, but
you good.
But I just couldn't listen to too much of it, man. It's like after the third interchange, man, I was really done. I was like, okay, this is gonna pretty much be like this the whole night. It is trying to see who can play these whole notes and half notes the loudest.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Southern had better arrangements, and that's why I give them the edge. But it's really was just loud, man. I mean, it was, you know, whose brass had the most beef, you know, and I couldn't really get into that. You know, I like a little contrast in the sound. You know, I like power. You know, I'm a tuba player, so you know I like power, but I like it to be measured and then give it to me and surprise me with it. If you give it to me for an hour straight, then I'm not going to be impressed with your power anymore. And that's kind of what it got to. Like after the third time, you know, each band played, I was like, okay, I'm not impressed anymore with the power. So what else is going to impress me? And then all these little hip hop songs, you know, like I get it. We're the old heads, you know. This the old head feed. bruh, I mean, this is band. This is like HBCU bands, man. Do you know how many classics there are out there that you can jam to? You know, like right now. And then you wasting all this time on these little 2-second hip hop tracks, these little 4 and 8 bar tracks, man. It's the same format, you know. Come in with the intro, go a little tuba break, come back in, blow real hard. You know, might go to another tuba break again, and then come back with the end and blow real hard. You know, that's like the format. These little rap tunes. So I'm like, man, nobody's impressed by that no more. I mean, that's impressive in a football game setting because you don't have a lot of time, you know, and you're trying to get all these little tunes in, you know, quick like. But if you had a battle of the bands, man, I want you to take it back. I want you to give me some ballads. I want you to give me some jams that nobody's heard like in years, you know, and groove the crowd, you know, take advantage of that time, bro. But I wasn't impressed, man. To be honest with you, I checked out of it. I was like, I can't take this. And I was more impressed with Southern than Texas Southern. I thought Texas Southern was trying to overdo it a little bit, and in doing that, they had some exposure in their in certain sections, in certain songs, because they're not Southern. They don't have the arrangements. They don't have the sound that Southern has. But every band now try to emulate that sound. You know, me and my band director was talking about that today, actually. No, yesterday. He was like, every band sounds the same now. I mean, like everybody's trying to do that blowing baritones on top of everything type sound. You know, nobody sounds like, you know, back in the 90s, and I hate to sound old school, but back in our era, man, every band had a unique sound. Like you can close your eyes, hear a band, and you're like, okay, I know who that is. But besides Southern and Cookman and a few others like Norfolk, like those bands that still have their unique sound, I can't do that anymore. I can't close my eyes and listen to a band and be like, okay, this is this school. I mean, I can't. They all sound the same to me now. So it's starting to blend in, man. This aggressive battle type sound, and I like battles. You know, I like you know, you get the opportunity to show that you can actually put some air through the horns, but you can't do it for the whole time, man. I mean, it's like Bridget was saying, you gotta have some dimension to your love making. You can't be one dimensional, man. You can't be a one trick pony. That's why it's like if I was a band that's playing Southern, it would be easy to play against them because I wouldn't fall into I wouldn't try to outblow them. That's all you got to do. All you got to do is show your talent and your skill, and you would win. Because after 3 or 4 songs of them blowing their brains out, I mean, the crowd is going to get tired of that, man. You can show some versatility. You can show some strength. You can show some style. I mean, I just get tired of that. It bores me. So I'm not impressed with anyone over 160 people being loud. I'm not impressed at that point. You know, now if you're a small band, you got a big sound. That's more impressive to me. But yeah, it is what it is.
So yeah, like you say, y'all the MEAC, y'all the East Coast representatives. So
I'm out here in SWAC country, you know.
That's
so
true.
I've adjusted a little bit, you know.
But no,
you know,
I mean you're right. Okay, so I'm like y'all. I didn't necessarily check out, but it did get to the point where, like, everything sounded the same going back and forth.
Yep.
I gave Texas Southern some props because it seemed like they were close to matching Southern's power. Southern had more like layers, like they had more of the upper brass because they're used to like blowing their face off like that. But I was surprised that Texas Southern still kind of came with it. Texas Southern traditionally has been like that. I remember when I was there, at Jackson State. I think we played them. Well, we played them in '97, and I don't remember them that well because I think that they didn't stick around after the game. But in '98, they came to Jackson, and I swear it was like 15 of them. It was like they were not big at all, and they were like they was coming with it, and they was running with us for a little while too. Like they stayed a little bit after the game, where it's like, all right, y'all can go now, but they kept playing. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been impressed with them because it seemed like they always have small numbers, but they have a big sound. That's like a tradition. But yeah, I didn't hear. I always go for like who won in like a fifth or battle, like the range. Like show me like you can get crunk, but show me you can get quiet, you can go to sleep. You know, you can be cool. Like show me the range. And neither band really did that, but they were hyped though. Like, you know, they
it was turned now.
Yeah. So
it was a battle. It was epic. I mean, they went at it.
Right. So I was happy to see that. I just wish, you know me, and hey, like you say, this is the old head show. I wish I could have heard more marches. Shout out here, I'll give it to the young people. I'll do myself. Shout out to Brother Edgerson. I always say something to him about, he be like, man, marches. He be like, what? Like, Joe, you tripping. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to be doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, man. I wish I could have seen more range between it, but I was still impressed. Well, I was impressed with Southern, and I was impressed with Texas Southern as well.
So Ernest said something that kind of stuck out to me, too, about arranging. Like, back in the day, you could tell bands based upon, you know, that you can close your eyes and kind of listen to a band. That is so very true. But a lot of that is because it was outstanding arrangers out there, too. I think a lot of what we're getting now is lazy arranging. I don't care what anybody says. That whole play the melody, tuba break, come back and blow, break, whatever. That's a lazy arranging style. That's really lazy. And so we have so many people who want to be arrangers, but the reality is they're lazy. And so we're getting this lazy style. And I don't care. Some people are like, no, it's because of an NCAA rule. That's garbage. Arrangers are being lazy. So you had, back in the day, you had the Sargent Brothers, you had Mr. Adams, you had Melvin Miles. You had a lot of great, outstanding arrangers who wrote really nice pieces for bands, and you could hear their arranging style. I can listen to a Sargent Brother piece now, and I know who wrote it just based upon how, you know, it's kind of played, and that told us a lot about it. A lot of things that we hear from Norfolk and Jackson State and some other things, that's that Paul Adams sound. I get it. Yeah. And so that's a big difference. Now we have, you know, kids arranging, you know, the students arranging stuff, which is fine. You know, you have some people who just kind of being flat out lazy. I think that's a big part of it. It's hard to tell because that tuba break thing, you know, I think we got better arrangements through Southern. I agree with you on that. Southern had better arrangements, and they played more of the full songs. They had a couple songs with breaks, but they played more full songs. But Southern, I Need You to Retire, Torture, Hey in the Middle of the Bar, and Neck. Retire it.
Oh, like, not Neck.
They ain't never getting rid of Torture. You know, that's like their thing.
In a battle of the bands, like, who does that? And I was watching one of the boards. People were like, they lost automatically because they played Neck. I almost agreed. Almost. Like that. In the battle of the bands, who do that? Who does that? Southern, clearly. And Torture, that's their song. That's their go-to. That's their.
In the 90s, they used to play Twisted by Keith Sweat. That was that thing in the 90s, boy. That Twisted, boy. That was the thing. So. And
in the early 2000s was that Can You Feel It?
Yeah.
That's that thing.
See, that's what I need Southern to play stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's like stuff like that off the chain, or like some slow songs. Woo! Let me tell you.
See, those were full arrangements. You know, those were songs. You know, and that's it. You know, blow the stank off, something like that. You know, blow the stank off some Cameo. You know, something that's supposed to be turned up. You know.
Well, that's what's up, y'all. I guess the only thing before I close it out, I did think about that because, what you said. And some people also in the chat room, too, they were talking about just how, you know, the baritones and all that, like that's the lead line. Jackson State has adjusted. I guess that's like what's in right now. And
That's what it is. It's a fad. It's an arranging fad.
Yeah. So now, you know, Jackson State has changed their instrumentation. So now, like, you can't hear our trumpets. So this is not a perfect time, pretty much, because we've, you know, run the band for years. Trump Funk, you know, they run the Sonic Boom for years. And so people now, they get mad. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't hear us no more. But it's happening with a lot of bands. I just hope the band that comes through with the trumpets is going to win. Or at least if you recruit enough to have like 70 or 80 trumpets. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't mind seeing that. That would be dope. But so, yeah, that was pretty much it. I think we all agree for the most part. I still like the ignorance, you know what I'm saying? But it did kind of tap out for me after a while. Because it was all three. Because I saw Showtime web, and it was in 3 parts, and it was like 3 parts of the same, like, like the whole time. You know what I'm saying? So,
I mean, it's impressive, man. It's impressive for like 3 rounds, you know?
Right.
After that, I mean, I don't want to sit and just see 2 bands blow at each other at the top. I mean, I lose it, man. I lose interest. I mean, like, God dang, show me some diversity.
That's what's up, y'all. That's what's up. So, yeah, we pretty much agree for the most part. All right, y'all. So, let's go ahead and go into the next one. I'm going to do another commercial break here. Shout out to the people in the chat room.
Hey, chat room.
Chat room, folks. They doing their thing in there. But, yeah, we always appreciate you guys. Here, let me see a little camera here. Yeah, I got a little something. Got the little chat going up there a little bit. And shout out to Brother Payne. I think Major Payne. I see a Major Payne in there.
Yeah, Major Payne.
Shout out to him. The brother said that he has been watching since like 2013, or he's been listening to the show since 2013. So that's like triple plus platinum. You know what I'm saying? Once we get some money, you know, I'm start, you know, giving out gifts to people that's been here from the ground level. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that'll be dope. I'll let y'all know when Oprah cut me a check. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. All right, so let's go to the second commercial break. Y'all go ahead and mute your microphones, and we'll come back and we'll talk about the halftime with the S and the Ocean of Soul with the 90 Degree Show Volume 7. We appreciate you listening. We'll be right back after these messages.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
The source for fair and factual information on your favorite college bands, BlockUsUp.com. Well-written articles, in-depth band performance analysis, helpful resources for band directors, fun band-related topics, and exclusive interviews with some of today's brightest and most talented leaders of college marching bands. Visit us at BlockUsUp.com, the meeting place for band fans and band directors.
Hey, it's the Edge One, Southern University's Class of 2013 graduate. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
All right, you guys, we're back. You can unmute your microphones. Ready to talk about the halftime performance. This was, again, Southern against Texas Southern. State Fair Classic. Lots of different viewpoints, vantage points, a lot of different couple of HBCU videographers out there. Give them a round of applause. I saw like 3 or 4 people. And man, I sure wish I could travel, man. Man, I wanted to start going to some of these games. But I saw the Rogers brothers there.
Come on, go, Joe. Come on, go.
I know, man. I'm scared. I'm scared to leave my family, but that's another story. But I saw the Rogers brothers there, and then Show Style Talk was there. Couple other folks. Eddie from Meet Me on the 50 was there.
That was my last drum major.
Yeah, that was tight. I'm glad you sent me that because I was.
You saw that? You saw the picture?
Yeah, I'm like, dude. I'm like, look at Eddie out of Morgan State. I was like,
man, I treated him so bad. I was a senior. I treated him so bad. He was a young drum major. Sorry, Eddie. I know. I was 8. And I used to dance in the dance block. You know how the tubas be right behind. So I was first shift. I'd be right behind the drum major, and I used to be like, "You need to move over. You in my spotlight." I was so happy. I gave him a hard time his rookie year as a drum major, but Eddie's a good dude.
That's cool. Yeah, and I like his show, Cranking and Driving. That's really innovative. That's what's up.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Guess I want to ask you because I brought him up. He had a clip of, I'll just ask you guys right quick. We do not have to talk a lot about it, but I already brought him up. He had the clip of Brother Haymer. Nathan Haymer was at the game. And
I saw it.
He got the video and got the clip of Haymer going over there, speaking to the band. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I watched that I was watching it with intrigue because I didn't know how they felt about it. I didn't know if they missed him. I saw the drum major hug him, and I saw Brian Simmons. He had something on Facebook with him, but one of the directors didn't look like they even put the hand up to speak to him. Like he walked by him. You know, so one of the guys who was sitting down. So I won't recap or rehash the whole situation. I guess I'll just say you guys can Google what happened and the firing and the alleged, because it's alleged stuff. Don't nobody know if he did anything. It's alleged.
There's a lot of alleged fallout after all that stuff.
Yeah, it's alleged. So I
with
just
the staff and all that.
Yeah, exactly. So what did you think, Bridget? When you saw him speak over there, did you? I don't know.
I didn't see that clip, so I got to go to Eddie's page to check that out. I didn't see that clip, and you know we messy, so I want to see it because you know we be all trying to be the guys. So all of us was following that thing intently this summer, just because Haymer was so vocal and so
right.
And I don't even want to get into that Haymer thing because I'm kind of passionate about it because I feel about the direction that Brian is going in. That's how I felt about Haymer. I don't know if you remember last season, me fussing about Haymer cutting up. I said the same thing about him. I said the same exact stuff about him, and then boom, he took a big fall. And so I didn't see it, but I know there's a lot of, quote, alleged, but let me tell you, there's some alleged letters that went across the internet, too, that wasn't so alleged, but y'all keep saying alleged if you want to. There's a lot of
I saw that, too.
Between the staff, it seems to be some fallout with the staff. Even the dancers, notice the dance line is much smaller.
Yep.
So... Yes, and they pretty much I think maybe 1 or 2 girls are returners. Everybody else is new on that squad. That's pretty much a new squad. But yeah, I'm not surprised because, when stuff like that happens, one person thinks they should have gotten a job. One person's trying to get the job. It's a lot of stuff that can happen. So I'm not totally surprised, but I'm gonna look at it.
Yeah.
You know what I find interesting is how closely they all fall behind Greg's tutelage, I guess. It's like, everyone, your college band director influences you, and, you look up to that person and you aspire to be like that person. But it seems like every band director at Southern actually becomes a little mini Greg's, because Greg's is with the antics, always live and always being animated and kind of the show of the life of the party, so to speak. And all the directors have been like that. Jackson was like that. Haymer was like that. Brian is like that. I mean, I wonder if they'll ever have a band director that's kind of like, cool, laid back, and it's kind of in the cut.
Probably not.
It's amazing that they all end up like that. I'm like, that's interesting to me.
I see they follow Greg's financial handling too.
Oh.
Okay,
that's no secret. There ain't no secret. I mean, it's no secret. That's public knowledge. Look at them records. I mean, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I wasn't gonna put that out there.
Trying to be shady. That's not even trying to be shady. That's just the truth. But I'll be quiet. I digress.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I don't know, man. I just wish it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that what I remember most about the whole thing so far is I just remember looking at the news report. Like they did the news reporting of, this is a Southern, and I just didn't like how they were kind of like presenting the news. Like, well, this Southern University stuff, they're always doing something over there, those thugs. And, so it's like when stuff like this happens, I hate it because then that's when those folks out there be like, see what we told you? We know we were going to do it. You know what I'm saying? And, I just know his brother was his attorney too. Man,
that was the main issue right there. You don't do that. Well, I'm gonna be quiet. I'm gonna be quiet because we're not supposed to be talking about this tonight, Joe.
I know.
I'm trying to tell you, I don't know what he was thinking, bruh. I was like, he needed to go get Coyne, Snyder, McKellen, Eisenberg, Catherine, all the Jewish lawyers. That's who he needed. So, but eventually he got the idea.
Right.
Eventually he got the idea, but it was too late. His brother trying to defend him on the internet. I'm like, my goodness, this is like, it was a fiasco. It was a fiasco.
Did. And Uncut got a hold of it. Because once Uncut,
it was released to the media. Uncut, Ben had it.
Yeah, it was
bad for a minute, man.
Yeah.
And all the other alleged rumors that kind of poured out amongst all that, it was like, oh God.
It was too many layers. It was so many layers.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you.
Layers upon layers.
Exactly. I mean, and if you're Southern, all you can do is release him because it was just too much. It's not money, it's this and it's that. And you're just like, oh my gosh. So whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I hate anybody. What I will say though, I hate for anybody to lose their job. And I hope the lesson has been learned that needs to be learned. I hope Brian is getting the training and the things that he needs to know to run an effective program, especially as far as financial management, because that's a big deal. We've talked about that on the show a couple years ago. Joe, remember we did the show, it was right after the Bayou Classic, and we talked about money, and we had a whole show talking about that. And I don't know if you remember that, but I'm trying to tell you. And I even called it what's going on with Bethune-Cookman. I called it. I've been saying it on.
Oh yeah, we did.
I'm praying for Cookman, man.
I'm praying for him, but come on, people, we got to be smarter than this. That campus, if you've ever been to Cookman, that's a small school. They cannot handle all the things that they're trying to do. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, they can't do. You can't have an almost $1 million scholarship budget for band on a campus that size. Like, that is ridiculous. And I've been calling it, I've been saying it. And you don't want to speak bad, but hey, I've been saying, I was like, they're going to crash. They're going to crash and burn. And that's what we're starting to see now. But hey, somebody will figure it out. Hopefully their board of trustees will figure it out if they have one.
Oh,
hopefully
somebody.
Hopefully Netflix gave them some money. Hopefully Netflix gave them a lot of money.
They probably gave them the same amount that Morris Brown got from Drumline. Same thing. This is the same scenario. We're saying it happened over and over again. Morris Brown, same situation. You're trying to outstand that little school.
Yeah.
It don't. Finances don't work like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not for a school. You put the more people you have on scholarship is the less revenue you have for your school. That's just the bottom line. You want people to pay tuition. That's what you want to happen.
Shout out to we talked about Show Style Talk, but they're in the chat room, so shout out to them. Give y'all a round of applause.
Hey, Show Style Talk. Great job hosting.
Yeah, man, really good job hosting.
Great job hosting the Battle of the Band, Show Style Talk, and Roger Brothers.
And you guys make sure, and I believe you guys correct me in the chat room because I'm always off with my time, but I think it's 3 o'clock Central Time. Y'all let me know. Break me down if I'm wrong now, but I think it's 3 o'clock on Wednesdays that Show Style has their talk. 3 o'clock Central Time, 3 to 5. Because usually, for me, it's 1 o'clock. So that's usually like, and I'm in my office and I check them out. So yeah, if I'm wrong, Show Style, y'all let us know in the chat room. But you guys make sure that you check them out on Wednesday. I'm sure that they'll have something to say and other things that were going on there at the event. So you guys check them out. But again, thanks again, y'all in the chat room. We appreciate the love and stuff. And they're going to be chopping it up on this show as well. I think I'm going to start doing some of the chopping it ups here live like this, but I'm still working that out. So shout out again to you. So with the halftime show, I know that I started out talking about something else, but that was the first thing. When I thought about Eddie, I thought about he filmed that, and I was trying to really, like, I watched it a couple times. I was like, oh, was he mad? Or, like, you know what I'm saying? So I thought about, I wanted to ask you guys about it. But nevertheless, we'll go into the actual battle with the halftime show. Bridget, or, you know, Ernest, I'll ask you, or I'll let you go first, man. What did you think about the halftime show?
I thought Texas Southern had the best song selection. I like their theme. Once again, you know, Southern is probably the best drilling band out there, though. So it's hard to beat them at halftime as far as the first part of the show, the drill, is concerned. I like that little corner drill they do, whatever. That was pretty hot. Sound-wise, you know, coming off the field, I was more impressed with Southern's arrangements once again. Texas Southern, they had some points and there were, you know, certain sections got exposed once again. And I think it comes back to the arrangements that they try to spread their sound a little too thin at certain points. What they did that, Aretha.
The freeway?
Yeah. That stuff was pretty good, but at certain points in the drill, you know, when you flipping them squads and doing certain things, and what is it with this? It is a SWAC thing where you play to your side of the stadium and you don't play to
Southern thing. Texas Southern is doing that this season. I don't know why.
Yeah, like why is that? I mean, like, I thought you play to the home box, no matter where. If it's a classic, still whoever is the home team, you play to the press box. You know,
that's a little bit of some arrogance. Just a little arrogance, mix it in there. It's like, we only play to our fans. If you want to check us out, you come over here on this side. You know what I'm saying?
that kind of messed me up too.
You know?
Who was the home team in this classic anyway?
That's a good
was
question.
It Southern?
I'm not sure. I'm about to look.
Southern.
Yeah, but it seemed like most of the videographers thought they were gonna perform to the other side.
Yeah.
But they flipped it on them. But they had a good show now. They were solid. They're not a bad band at all. You know, they're a strong band. You know, right down the street from me, down in here in Houston. You know, strong program. But there are some issues. And I'm just not a fan sometimes of their approach. You know, their approach to most of the selections they play can be, how should I say this? Not aggressive, but it's like they only, like, they have one approach. They don't have any other approach to music. You know, they have one approach to all music. So if it's coming from this band, it's going to sound a certain way. And I guess that's, you know, if that's your style, that's a good thing. I guess a good thing. But musically, if we're musicians, you know, we should be able to let the music sing through sometimes, you know, and tell a story and be dynamic, you know, be climatic and not just, you know, just all in your face all the time. And that's the only issue I have with Texas Southern, man. They're a really good band. They have the basics covered. You know, they have good. They march well. They drill well. You know, they don't have the problems that some bands have, even some MEAC bands have with covering the basics. You know, of being a marching band. You know, they got that covered. It's just that their sound, to me, their approach, I'm not 100% on board. So halftime, I would have to give it to the Jukebox, just because of format. I didn't like neither of their anything that happened after the dance girl. I kind of just tuned out. But I thought the dolls were better. You know, they had that professional look that I enjoy looking at. Between I think Golden Delight and the Dancing Dolls, I think they're the best in the game right now as far as auxiliaries. I didn't really pay much attention to Texan Southern girls.
No,
but,
I don't even remember them. What's funny, it's crazy. No, I don't barely remember them.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember them, but
did you see what I tagged you in, Joe? The video,
yes.
the meme that people have out on them.
Yes, I did. Could you
go
ahead and tell us what that is? And let me see if I can. I don't know if I can actually bring it up on the show for people to see.
Oh Lord.
I need you to, if you can, I need you to bring that. I need you to bring that up, Ernest. If you have your phone handy, I'll send it to you. It was bad.
Oh man.
It's really bad, and it's important for us to see this in the midst of this conversation about auxiliary. I always bring some light. I always shed some light on auxiliary. Just because I do. I usually like auxiliaries. So,
yeah, I try to shine some light on it. You know, being a band director, sometimes, you know, you overlook the auxiliary, and I don't like doing that. So I always purposely try to talk about them.
Yeah. It was hard to ignore them. It was hard.
Yeah, I can't bring it up. I feel like I'm gonna mess something up already. So yeah. But I probably put that. I probably put it in the chat. I think I put that.
Oh, I see it.
You got it.
Yeah.
So man, you making the listeners like die with suspense.
Yeah, watch it. Watch it. Go through it. Go through and watch it.
I'm gonna try to post it here in
the. I'm trying to copy the link and put it in the chat room. At least the chat room people can see what we're talking about.
Yeah. But man, I guess Ernest, you know what's funny is, man, I guess I'm starting to notice that maybe Southern has like one speed or something like that, or like like Bridget say, the lover he always just he don't want to slow down. I guess I was trying to clean it up myself, but I mean, you know what I'm saying, but straight up, I understand, I get that. I've just always been expecting that from them. Like I'm like, oh yeah, that's Southern. They're not great to play no slow song. They might, you know what I'm saying? They might play something slow, but
you know what though? Last year, I was impressed with Southern's sound. Like they had a number of ballads. I remember when they came to the Queen City. To me, they were like the best sounding band there. and that was on the ballot. They played what ballot they played at the Queen City that like a couple years ago. Haymer, of course, was the director, but they played a ballad, man, and it kind of floored everybody. I'm like, they sounded great, and I was, man, like these last few years, I was kind of giving them I had to take a lot back about Southern because they did the In the Jungle with the Bon Jovi tune. I mean, the Guns N' Roses.
Yeah. Welcome to the Jungle.
They were doing a lot that was out of the box. They did the Queen selection.
The Bohemian Rhapsody.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
They were really doing some cutting edge things musically, and it fit their style. And I was a fan of that stuff. So I'm like, if they can, like now I see them going back into that box of, the typical, trap band or whatever.
Trap band.
But they were impressing me for a minute, man, for real. Shout out to Haymer. That dude was, he's a visionary. Call him what you want, but he had a vision and he had a plan, and he was executing. But my band director always told me, man, it's only two things that bring down band directors. You know, one of them is a body part, and the other one is money.
Absolutely.
In fact, here, let me give him a round of applause. I did the thing to be funny, but yeah, that is kind of true. I didn't even think about, well, all right, well, yeah. I guess that is a problem. But yeah, we won't talk about that. but yeah, man, I don't know. I don't know. I like him. I like the fact that he's like that. You know who kind of reminds me like that too is Brother Snipes. Brother Snipes, he's still kind of, you know what I'm saying, he could be professional, but he could still too, like when they was cutting up in the chat room like last week. You know what I'm saying? Like they could still, I don't know. I guess you are right, Bridget. You are dead on about Decorum. And Brother Simmons, I mean, he is 25. So I'm trying to think about how that would be versus when I was at Jackson State and I had Dr. Liddell, who literally marched in the band with my dad. You know what I'm saying? Him and then Dr. Magruder, like they were older, so they were already like a dad. You know what I'm saying? So I would never see Mr. Adams or somebody like that doing nothing like what we saw. But it would be cool though. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, oh, look at Mr. Adams. You know what I'm saying? Or if Mr. Adams started setting out the hops. Oh, that would be dope. I would set it out, dog. There you go, dog. You know
Boy, I would pay money to see that.
Oh, that would be dope. Mr. Adams, you know, set out the hops. Be out, dog. Him and Dr. Magruder. If they did something man, that would be dope. But
I would see money. I would pay money to see that, bro. Yeah. No, he's too cool.
Right. So yeah, but no, you are right. I guess we do have to grow up sometime. I struggle with that one, man. I just don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So Bridget, what did you think about the halftime show?
All right, I'm going to start with Southern, even though Southern was the home team. So their band was second, but for some reason I saw their video first. Southern, they're great at drilling. You know, they have that squad drill. They have that style down. I don't know what their block is once, you know, because it's like 120 block, 90 block, whatever the block is. They got theirs down. It's set. They drill very well. They drill well. They played well on the field. Dancing Dolls are classy. You know, I give it to them. They're like really classy, really chic. I like Dancing Dolls. They dance really well. I like the dance that they did. We've seen that in the season already, but it's okay. It was a good dance. Dancer team was hype. Nice. Once again, though, they're one speed band. You know, you don't get a ballad out of Southern, you know, which is different because most bands, they'll stop and even give you a ballad, but, you know, you don't get that out of Southern. So I like their drill. Texas Southern. They actually shocked me. So they have, my soft spot this year is breast cancer awareness because I lost two close loved ones, my cousin and my god sister who I grew up with from birth. I lost both of them within this year for breast cancer. So that's a soft spot for me. So I had to kind of get myself together when I realized when they were playing Now I'm a Survivor, I was just like, oh man, I had to get myself together. So I give Texas Southern mad props. Try not to get choked up for that show because that's something that's kind of near and dear to my heart, and it was an outstanding show. So they did a tribute show, which was good, Joe, because I know he don't like tribute shows.
Okay, so real quick,
yeah.
The Texas Southern, were they scared? Knowing what you know now, do you think that they were scared?
No. I think they strategically planned it. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I think they strategically planned it. And let me tell you, I'm going to have a biased take on this, and I know that, so I'm going to bring my bias to the field. My biased take is that I haven't seen that done a whole lot. I've seen Miles College do, when Snipes' mom passed, I saw them do a tribute to cancer awareness, but I haven't seen a lot of bands really approach it from a show perspective. So I don't think they were scared. I think it was good planning because they did breast cancer, and then they did the tribute to Aretha, Aunt Riri. They did tribute to her.
Double tribute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what, Joe, man, you might have a point, bro, because it's been October, you know, and you know, you picked the Southern game to go there. I mean, I don't know.
And then they got Bridget, cause like it's already like got Bridget a little bit. So I'm like, damn, cause I already feel it already. I'm like, damn. Bridget gonna say
it got me. And if it was if it was their thing, if it was Joe, I might give you this one. If it was their thing to get people, then hey, they got us. Whatever work that they got, because they definitely got me. I was just like, oh man, this is a good show. But if you think about it, the Survivor theme, along with the Aretha Franklin Natural Woman, it fits in with the whole breast cancer show. It does fit in.
Yeah.
So they made it fit, you know, and it worked out well. Their color guard, their auxiliary's terrible. So I've gotten on Miles college about their auxiliary. It's like, you better leave auxiliary alone. Miles, I'll give you a pass. Y'all auxiliary is great compared to Texas Southern.
Oh.
Texas Southern auxiliary is terrible. The flag line, what in the world are you doing? And the dancers literally were running into each other. So we posted it in the chat room. He got the shots fired thing up here. Literally, we're running into that last move. Homegirl was trying to do backflips. And she flipped into the girl. They like her head end up like her feet is like around the girl's neck or something at the end. It's terrible. Did you see it, Ernest? You see it?
I saw it.
Oh man,
I saw it. I forgot about it until you just reminded me about it, though.
I was like, what? Like somebody. So one of my sorors who danced for Golden Light, she was like, I didn't really celebrate all my HBCUs, but Texas Southern, what in the world? Like they didn't know the dance. It's evident they didn't know the dance. But I don't know if you watch Texas Southern girls in the stands. So I'm gonna take it from the auxiliary standpoint, whatever. I don't know if you even watch them in the stands. In the stands, I be like, they look like they're having seizures when they dance. Like they like do this everything is like a jerk and pop thing. And you're like, why are y'all dancing so hard to everything? They're like the opposite. Like I would actually put Texas Southern dances with Southern. And that their dancing style fit Southern. And I would reverse the dancers or something. I don't know. It was crazy. But I can watch them and think like, why are you mean mugging? You're a dancer. Like you're mugging and you dancing that hard. Like I love the classy style. Don't get me wrong. I like the ratchetness of like the GGs. I like I like that style too. That's just my bad girl side. I do. But I like Southern has a very classy, classic, clean style that I really do like. And they dance. You know, they are a squad that dances on the field. They dance really well. So yeah, I thought both shows was really nice. Texas Southern, you need to play to the box. That's just point blank. You gotta, man. Like that's, you know, because even people who are your fans, a lot of times they'll buy tickets based upon the side that they're going to play to. Right. Thinking that's the home side. You know, I know a lot of people be like, hey, what side is the home side? What sections? You know, they'll call with those questions. So when you do that, I get you're trying to play for your fans, but your fans know what you sound like. You should be playing for the home side, which I think that's really rude, and that's a whole nother level of ignorance. I'm just like, come on, this business. You know, they did that when they played. Who they played, Joe, and they did that. Was it A&M, Texas Southern? Because we've seen them do that earlier this season. Who else did we see them playing, Joe?
I'm telling you, we didn't see Texas Southern. That was I think you thinking about Miles.
Nope, Texas Southern. It was Texas Southern. We saw them. We talked about them earlier this season when they was playing somebody.
Maybe about. I'm gonna have to look back.
Yeah. We saw them because we said the same thing. I was like, okay, so that's their thing. Texas Southern. Remember, they had a good show. Whoever they were playing, they were either playing A&M or can't remember. They played somebody in the battle. They did the same thing. But the point of the matter
isn't that disrespectful when you go to another band stadium?
It is.
I mean, that's kind of disrespectful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like turning your back on the audience. It's kind of.
And you're supposed to be playing to them anyway, because like you said, they don't know what you're doing. You know, so you're supposed to be dazzling them. Like.
Thank you, Hassan. Alcorn. It was the Alcorn game. Texas Southern Alcorn. Thank you, Hassan, in the chat room. I knew somebody else said the Alcorn game. We watched. Remember, we saw the Alcorn because we were surprised how good Alcorn sounded.
Yeah, and I talked about how Bizarro State was like really, really good this year. Shout out to Bizarro State.
Call it Bizarro State one more game.
Shout out to Alcorn. I mean, they are a great HBCU program.
Yeah.
They just. they just want to be the Sonic Boom of the South, and there's nothing wrong with that. So shout out to Alcorn.
Who wants to be the Boom?
Alcorn does really bad.
From?
Well, I mean, just look
I can see that DMs. I mean, the DMs got the style down.
When they formed the ASU, only thing different is the A. Everything else looked like our drill, man. My dad marched with Sam Griffin. He passed, I think, last year or a couple years ago. But my dad was in the band with Sam Griffin. So Sam Griffin was in the Boom. And then he was like one of their greatest band directors. So, of course, I mean, hey. I mean, your little brother, I mean, it's the whole thing. Well, I was about to say Southern Grambling, but shout out to Kelly Charles. I don't want to say nothing about Grambling no more because she went off on me pretty bad. But, I mean, it's just the whole little brother thing. We don't have to go into it too much because, I mean, Alcorn knows. But they do sound good this year, though. So shout out to Alcorn. Shout out to the Braves. All right, y'all.
Anyway, the point was Texas Southern keep doing that. Stop it.
So who do you think had a better show, Bridget?
I'm going to give it to Southern on the technicality. I could hear them better. All the cameras of the shows that I was seeing was facing the other direction, so we couldn't get the full impact of Alcorn's show. And I like their show. You know, I already told you I have a soft spot for, but I have to give it to Southern. One, because I can hear them better, and they do. They march and drill well. We have to give that to Southern. And it's not hating. Somebody in the chat room before said we was hating on Texas Southern. No, Texas Southern has a nice program. I do like their program. I need them to define themselves and not define themselves as it relates to Southern. Every band needs to have a brand. And Texas Southern, I don't know your brand. I don't see it.
Right.
I don't see their brand. So I have to give halftime to Southern.
I myself, one thing I noticed about Texas Southern's show, it felt like it wasn't together. Like the drum major salute, like when they came out, that was not together. Like they were not in sync at all. And they had a lot of issues with the drill. One thing that happens when you do have like a camera from like behind or from the side or somewhere, you able to see how straight your lines are. And that angle really hurt them as far as the precision in their drill, because it's looked like they hardly didn't have anything straight. You know what I mean? And, so that kind of hurt them. Yeah. So that hurt them. But I still enjoyed them because they're coming with it. You know, they're like 40 people, but they sound like Southern was like, they had a lot more layers and they were louder, but they weren't like that much louder than Texas. You know what I mean? Like Texas Southern
I
was
agree.
Right there. Yeah, they was rolling with it.
The Texas Southern is bringing some heat now. They're throwing some heat across that field.
Yeah.
And just like Bridget said, they had a well-designed show. Like it was a great concept. But execution, comes down to execution. Two bands and HBCU bands that executes better than everybody, Southern and Cookman.
Yeah, I agree. Southern's good. And then I already know that, like, I've said it 400 times, I love drill. And Southern, they do, like, drills I just love, man. And that drill that they did where they started out the pinwheels, it was like one pinwheel, then 2 pinwheels, then 4 pinwheels. And I was like, that. And then they marched in there was one move that they actually marched into company fronts and 6 company fronts, and it was kind of like they like unraveled themselves. It was dope. I was like, I've always been impressed with Southern's drills. So I always say, man, if they do their thing, it's gonna be hard to like beat them in the show. So I was really excited to see that. Like I say, Texas Southern's drill was not as good. They had decent energy, but I just don't think that they were able to put on as good of a show because of the precision. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me, the precision wise. A couple people in the chat room had said something I had wanted to say. First of all, the show style guy said that it's 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock p.m. To 8 p.m. I swore, I don't know if they changed it or not, but I remember listening to them at like 1 o'clock on like my lunch hours. But
was it daylight savings? or before daylight savings
It
or
might have
something.
been. I don't know. It's I know it was. I know a lot this summer, and then they're on SoundCloud too. So like you can check out some of their old episodes. But make sure you download the
Yeah,
All
I need to
Real
check them
Radio
out,
app.
man. I need to check
Yeah,
them out.
yeah, they right there in Houston, right there with you, Ernest.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
need to holler at my boys, man.
yeah. But yeah, check them out. Download the All Real
Hmm.
Radio app on your phone. And Wednesdays, check them out. So shout out to them again. I appreciate it. And then, yeah, Hassan Austin. Yeah, he helped us out a little bit as far as Alcorn. So shout out to him. But shout out to the folks in the chat room, man. You know, they you know what I'm saying? Y'all able to, give us the extra information that we need. All right, I'm trying to think. I think that's all I have for like the halftime show. Let me look up here.
Ernest, somebody in the chat room saying yo yo to you. DJAchilles.
Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
The Newts run it. You know it.
Oh, that was another thing I did. Like, I'm looking at my notes now. I did like the little mini storms that Texas Southern was doing. They had a whole bunch of storms like across the field.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get the whole.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't
You
get
know
the whole
what?
thing because
Out of all the double time marching or whatever, I thought that was the most unique. You know, I used to like the hundreds, and I don't like theirs no more. Theirs got sloppy since Dr. White. But I don't like Southern because it just don't seem right to me. They don't look right doing it. But Texas Southern looks the best doing it, I think. So the best I've seen. I like the little swirl things too.
Yeah.
That's unique.
Like Bridget just said about like your brand, like that's your brand. So
Yeah.
I like that they do that. And I'm looking at my notes now. I'm glad I looked at my notes. Texas Southern took a L to me because of some of my terminologies. Like we talked about the tribute shows, we talked about play calling. If you sing, if someone comes out in front of your band and they sing, that's an automatic L. I'm sorry.
Well, she did sing. She sounded good.
She sounded good, Jeff.
How many times does FAMU pass somebody sing? They get mad house too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's bad. You're Florida A&M. What are you
now
doing
when
with
Fam
the
did
singer?
that Order My Steps in the first Honda, was that the first Honda?
See, that's a gospel song too.
Yeah.
See, y'all cross referencing stuff out here, man. I just do not. I feel like that is the worst thing in the world. Like you're supposed to have just a trumpet section, so give them the singing part. Like that works out. But she did, and then like I don't know, man. Like I understand, when people like start getting like singing, but all the ooh, whoa, wow, wow. God, I hate that.
I feel you though. I feel you. And then because most of the shit was from the back, it had some phasing issues with her voice and the timing of the band.
Yeah.
Us hearing it on the tape is kind of delayed. Like
it just don't work. So y'all.
But she sounded good, but yeah.
Man, I just hate seeing it. You know what I'm saying? So like when a band does, and I know Rashad messes with me about it. As soon as they start seeing something, they're like, "Oh, featuring some L." They should have that dude. Y'all remember Showtime at the Apollo, and then the little dude that he come out, the little clown. They should have something.
Oh yeah.
They should have somebody come out and pull the singer when somebody said, "Nah." So
sweep the broom, sweep them off.
Oh yeah. So I love you, Texas Southern, man. Y'all was cranking, but nah, man. No. God, I hate that. But that's just me. So yeah, I'm glad I looked at my notes because I was gonna forget about that, y'all. But yeah, that was mostly it. But like I said, Southern's drill was just dope. So after they finished the drill, even before the Dancing Dolls came out, I was like, man, they pretty much got this one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anything else you guys wanted to bring up by halftime? We do the last segment and then we'll sign off for the night. All right,
I'm
y'all.
good.
Let's go ahead and mute the microphones, and let's go ahead and do this last segment. You listen to the 90 Degree Show with the Marching Podcast Network, and we sure appreciate you listening. We'll be right back.
Your host, Joe Beard, and the 90 Degree Show will return in a moment.
Hello, everyone. This is Joe Beard from the Marching Podcast. Is your school, club, or organization looking for high-quality decorated apparel to outfit your students, staff, club, or team? Tired of the same old boring white t-shirt? Are you in charge of the upcoming fundraiser or special event, but don't really have time to troll the internet for ideas or compare products? SAY can help with design and product selection. We can even assist with ideas on conducting an effective fundraising program. SAY can help you save time and get your message heard. So call 1-800-975-3156. SAY Marketing and Promotions.
Give your brand a voice.
If you're thinking about buying or selling real estate in the Southern California area, please contact Kevin Peete of RE/MAX Patriots. He will meet and exceed all of your needs. You can contact Kevin at 951-858-5942. That's 951-858-5942. Or you can email Kevin at kpsaleshomes@sbcglobal.net. That's KP, his initials, Kevin Peete, KP Sales Homes, all one word, at sbcglobal.net. Thanks again.
You want the best barbecue around? Smokee O's coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokee O's know what's good for you. You want the best barbecue around? Smokee O's coming to your town. Ribs, chopped beef, baked potatoes too. Smokee O's know what's good for you. Smokee O's, come check us out.
Hey, it's the Edge One, Southern University's Class of 2013 graduate. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
This is Curtis from 80minutesofregulation.com. From referees whistle to drum majors whistle and back, your source for sports and marching and athletic music. You're listening to the 90 Degree Show on the Marching Podcast Network.
And now, more of the 90 Degree Show with your host, Joe Beard.
Had to unmute my microphone. All right, guys, welcome back. Again, shout out to Smokee O's Barbecue.
He be singing, don't he?
Smokee O's, no, was good. I like that.
He be singing on that commercial. Smokee O's Barbecue.
That's dope.
Come on, y'all, man, get y'all some of that Smokee O's.
I know. Go on, get some of that. Give yourself a round of applause. I'll hook it up.
Go on, see Thomas Otis to get you some Smokee O's Barbecue. Yeah.
Where's Smokee O's located at? Where's that at?
Dallas. He's in Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, man? I might have to check that out. My brother just moved to Dallas, so I got a reason to go out there.
There you go. Hit him up. 469. Y'all need 469-509.
It's about 3.5.
Oh, that's not bad.
From Houston?
Yeah.
Dallas from Houston?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is it true that they want to build like a train between Dallas and Houston? Yeah,
I heard it.
Yeah.
Heard that rumor.
Yeah, that would be dope.
So that would be real dope.
You guys can check out Thomas. He wanted me to let you guys know that this upcoming weekend, Smokee O's Barbecue will be in Tyler, Texas, catering the Texas Colleges Marching. Damn, my phone. Texas Colleges Marching Stampede under the direction of Texas legend Kevin Smith. So you guys make sure he's got this Battle of the Bands here. He got the flyer. We'll make sure we put this out. But it's homecoming edition. Looks like Langston and Texas College. That might be tight. Battle of the Bands. Mm-hmm. Texas College and Langston. I wonder if y'all can see this through my phone.
And Smokey O's barbecue.
Uh-oh. Can y'all see that? Yeah, that's if I can. Oh my God. Oh, this reverse stuff is hard. Yeah, so this is a Battle of the Bands. Y'all go out October 26th, 7 o'clock. 10 and under are free. Texas college students get in free, and it's $10 general admission. It's at the Texas College Gym. So y'all go out there, hear some bands, but check out that barbecue. You know what I'm saying? And tweet out or do something, hashtag it Smokey O's, and we'll retweet it out here through the network. But shout out to you, Thomas, man, and appreciate what you do. They gonna be in Tyler. That's where Patrick Mahomes is from. All you football fans out there, but I don't want to get that boy clowning. But I don't want to get into sports. That's a whole nother topic. All right, so the 5th, y'all. Let's go ahead and wrap this up, because I was like, I know we ain't gonna talk that long tonight, and it's already over an hour and a half already.
Yeah, already.
11 p.m.
Yeah.
East Coast time.
Okay. So Bridget, let's go ahead and wrap this up. What did you think about the 5th between these two schools?
I'm gonna make this fast. It was short and sweet. I give it the Southern. After you've done Battle of the Band, 0 quarter, halftime, play the whole game, and 5th quarter is like unnecessary. Like, why did you do it?
Right.
Yeah, why did you do it? I don't get why they even did it, but I definitely give it to Southern. They had some decent little things that we heard in there, but they just sounded better at that point. Texas Southern sounded a little tired. I heard some actually kind of cool things in the last few songs Southern played, so I give it to them. But it becomes a lot. Like, you don't need a Battle of the Bands and a 0 quarter and a 5th quarter. That's a lot. And most bands, everybody want to act like their book is that thick, but no, you're gonna hear some repeaters after a while. So yeah, I thought.
Yeah, that was the main thing that and we talked about this before. We talked about this last year, because you remember Crankfest. Unfortunately, there's no Crankfest this year, Bridget. See, you was the main person. I cannot wait till Crankfest came up, because I cannot wait for that show. But
hated it. I hated it.
They didn't have it this year, but I remember last year they had it, and we talked about how, wow, that was a lot, because you remember it was on a Sunday. So, like, the students and all that, they, got themselves together for that Saturday. I can't remember what happened Friday, but then they got themselves together for the game, and then they traveled somewhere else for the actual Crankfest. And I remember we talked about how, dang, that was the Sunday. That's like, you got to prepare for class on Monday, don't you? Or don't you got to be getting back? And, we kind of talked about that. But, yeah, that is a lot. I wish there's something we could figure out where we could have those bands on display and it's not so much taxing, but at the same time, it's probably the easiest to bring those bands together at one time. Because I know it's hard talking to, shout out to Walter Williams from National Show Band Association. I talked to him a lot about,
Walter.
Trying to have like a Battle of the Bands out here in California, and he's just talking about how tough it is just to pull something like that off. So I'm glad that the Rogers Bros and Show Style was able to pull it off. But yeah, man, I would like to see them in their own. So the band, like Bridget said, so the bands don't get so fatigued. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
right.
Yeah, man, I'd like to see them at some other type of avenue. Ernest, what you think of the 5th, man?
Well, they need to keep in mind about audience fatigue as well, man. I mean, after people paid to come to the battle on Friday night, then they saw them at the game, halftime, and then the 5th quarter. I mean, it's like, the crowd, I'm pretty sure was tired of those two bands in particular that weekend. They already heard everything Friday night. I mean, they heard everything but the halftime show, and they saw that on Saturday. So, I mean, I don't know what they played in the 5th that they was safe. I mean, they were saving something for the 5th. I mean, those had to be those little trap songs, that tunes me out automatically. Yeah, the little when you hear them trombones hit them 8th notes, I'm tuned out. So man, yeah, you know, Southern got the W, man, on arrangements alone. I mean, both bands were loud. You know, I guess that was the objective of the weekend. But Southern has the ability, the way that the music is written, it compensates for the volume and it kind of facilitates the volume. So a lot of bands don't understand that. Like a lot of bands will try to take any old arrangement and blow it. Southern arrangements are not written like that. They're written to be blowed. You know, they're written with a certain intensity in mind. You know, and then they've always been real brass heavy and abnormally brass heavy. Like most college bands don't have the instrumentation that Southern has. You know, and people get thrown off by that. They don't know the size of their brass section. You know, their trumpet sections and their horn sections and their baritone sections are huge. So they have the power to give them sections those independent lines, man, and that wins it, you know?
Right.
So Southern for the win easily that weekend, the whole weekend, in my opinion, except for halftime was more competitive because of the creativity the show creativity.
Yeah, I'm looking in the chat room too. Shout out to A1 Story. That's another dude I usually see here, and I didn't know he was a Noop. He said yo Noop. That was the A1 Story. But shout out to him. He was one of the first people I think I saw in the chat room when we started on YouTube. So shout out to him, and then shout out to Major Payne again. I was actually gonna bring up that I heard Chase in the fifth quarter, but it's not Chase, or even though people call it that. I know we had a trumpet riff at Jackson State and we called it Chase, but the song is
I think I've heard that.
Get It On, Get It On, and it's by Bill Chase. So shout out to that. Yeah, shout out to that clarity, because I keep calling it Chase. I just be like, oh, that's Chase. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool, like when the whole band plays it. But yeah, that was like our little signature trumpet riff when I was at Jackson State, was we played Chase. But I like Texas Southern playing that at the fifth. I thought that was cool. They played that, and then another song that I heard from them that they played in the Battle of the Bands that I forgot about is they played To Get You in the Mood. I don't know the name of the song.
I remember that.
Get you in the mood.
Yeah.
Baby,
is that Maxwell? Who is that?
Nah, that's somebody old. I want to do, it's like the Whispers or somebody. I think it's the Whispers.
Oh.
Them the ones that got the twins with the big mustache, right? The Whispers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
You sure that's the Whispers?
I think so. With the big mustache. Oh, hold up. I'm about to start singing. All right, let me calm down, Bridget. I was about to start letting go out here, boy. Start singing that day. That is the jam. I like that song. But they played that song and they got me pumped. So.
You know the ultimate Whisper song, man, to me is now I can't remember the name of it.
They trying to steal the girl from her boyfriend. Is that the song?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That song is the jam. Even though he kind of hating a little bit. He like, your man ain't gonna do this stuff, and I'll do it. You know
right.
That's hating. You know what I'm saying? Don't be hating with me. Right,
oh man.
Well, that's what's up, y'all. Well, it's always good to talk to you guys. And
I
think we pretty much agree for the most part about what we thought about the fifth. Bridget, anything that you want to say in closing before we sign off for the week?
Nope. Shout out to everyone in the chat room. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. And Ernest, thank you for joining us again. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Enjoy.
Shout out to I went to the Morgan Howard game this weekend, so shout out to those programs as well, Morgan and Howard.
Did you say shout out to Howard, Bridget?
Morgan and Howard. Yeah, Morgan and Howard played this weekend, so shout out to both. Don't do that.
I'm just giving a little shots fired because, we know you don't like Howard. You know what I'm saying? Now you give them a shot, but you don't like them.
See how you are, but the game was good.
Right. Well, that's what's up. That's what's up. Well, thank you, Bridget. Ernest, man, anything to say before we sign off for the week?
Yes, shout out to the South Carolina State University homecoming this past weekend.
Hey.
Heck yeah.
Who did y'all play?
Delaware State. They didn't bring the band though.
Yeah, their program, I guess that's another one of those small bands I wonder about is Delaware State. But they don't have too much of a program, do they?
I
don't know. I think I've seen.
There are a couple people in there this year. I've seen some clips of it.
Well, yeah.
It's okay. Their numbers are okay this year. Okay.
Well, that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I know we're gonna be talking about South Carolina State this year, so we're gonna have to have you on the show to talk about.
They had that. They had that. They had homecoming. Then they went down to Savannah and did that battle of the bands this past weekend.
Oh, okay.
So they had a busy little weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely will be talking about them. But yeah, even when we talk about one matchup, it take us 3 or 4 hours. So we'll be fitting it in there. We'll be fitting it in there. But again, I sure appreciate it, y'all. If you are interested in becoming a patron or a sponsor to the Marching Podcast, please contact the show and we'll give you the criteria so we can start to pub your business using our platform. We'll play your commercial, we'll post your information on the blog, and we'll help send out your information through social media. So contact us and we'll help you build your business. Remember to follow the blog, the Marching Podcast .blog. Yeah. In fact, give yourself one more round of applause. I'm crunk that it's like .blog, the Marching Podcast .blog. So you guys make sure you guys get on there and follow. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Thanks to you, we've come to the end of our show. Thanks for listening. Remember, the lessons you deliver may be very fine and true, but I'd rather get my lesson by observing what you do. See you next time.
And that's it for the 90 Degree Show for this week. Tune in next week with Joe Beard, where the marching band battles continue.